Ruins of Ravencroft Sabertooth. Now, this is a one shot, and it's really good. The Ruins of Ravencroft has been really good for me so far. I read the vampire one. I read the alpha one. It's really cool and creepy. So let's dive in. Welcome back to Longbox Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. Now we're discussing the Ruins of Ravencroft Sabertooth 1. It's a one-shot. And it's by Frank Terry, Angel Unzunta, and Guillermo Sana are doing the arts. They have a past and a present type thing going on, so they have different artists doing the past and present. So the story so far, during the whole Carnage thing, they somehow destroyed the insane asylum called Ravencroft. Now, Ravencroft comes from way back in the past. It was founded, and it has a link to the Carnage symbiote way back then as well. And so there's kind of a group shows up to investigate what happened here, what it has to do with Carnage, what it has to do with the Venom symbiotes, what's going on. So they found a diary there. The diary has some historical information. Things are going on about the unwanted. A lot of different things here, right? So we have a team of Misty Knight. Kingpin is down there. We have Werewolf by Night. I can't remember his name. Mr. Fantastic is there, and they're all kind of going through the Ruins of Ravencroft here. So they're looking through all the documentation, the notes, and in here it's like basic old 1800s kind of laboratory. You have all the test tubes and the bottles, and you got heads and jars. I mean, it is all through here, and you see that it looks like Sinister actually worked here at some point. They actually pull up a picture, and it looks like Sinister. So they go down, and there's like all these cells and prison cells, and they see, like, they open one and like a dead body inside. They left him there to die. This place is creepy. And so they're going through, and they see this big top building that says unwanted. They're like, okay, that's obviously what we're looking for. Let's crack it open. So Mr. Fantastic, using his elastic arms, cranks it real hard, putting some torque into it, opens that sucker up. As soon as they get the door open, vampires start breaking up through the floors, breaking up everywhere, and they're like, it's on. Now, let's talk about Cortland Cassidy would be considered Ravencroft's first patient, but by no means his last. So we're going back. Cortland Cassidy was the first guy that ended up with the symbiote, that Carnage symbiote. Of course, now it's with Cletus Cassidy. He kind of went through time. So like same family. It's really weird how they did that, right? Then we go back in time, and we see, we're back in the Revolutionary War, and we see one of the first superheroes. I think it's the Spirit of 76, I think is his name, and from New York in 1783. And we see the battles that were going on, and heroes were dying, and things were going on. And then we see in 1804, we have like a Cthulhu thing. It says from the Shama Garoth. And then in 1820, you had the Spirit of Vengeance, the Headless Horseman. And in 1862, you see attacks from within. You see like all these mole men coming up out of the ground. 1891, you see Teddy Roosevelt with space aliens, the Skrulls. So all through time, weird things have happened through American history, and it's kind of ignored, and we don't know it out in general public, but it's kept down. These things do happen. These weird things do occur. Weird creatures, weird beings, weird happenstance, all that kind of happens. Well, at the same time, there's this place in Westchester, New York, that like all this weird stuff kind of happens at. It's kind of like this is one of those centers of weirdness. So a guy here in Mr. Ravencroft goes and he buys that land, and he wants to build an insane asylum. So he actually does. He literally builds an insane asylum on this property. Of course, the people don't want it because they don't want crazy people, but it's a weird location anyway, but it does anyway. So he builds up this thing. It's called the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane, and it was officially born. Nice, big, old-style 1800 building, right? And then 1909, one of their patients in here, actually a nice little scene here, Black Knight, not Dane, but the original Black Knight had come through and was there, and it was in this tied down in a straitjacket with the stretcher. He's like, just give me my sword. I'm trying to fight you. It's cool stuff. So they go through here, and we have a lady doctor, and we have another sinister. And actually, when he's walking away through, you can actually see that the artist drew the sinister shadow up on the wall. And it's great. The new art's really clear and crisp, and the old school, like the history one, it's almost got this patina to it. This like history fading to the art. It's really well done. I really like it. Now, we actually see that Sabertooth is here as well. Sabertooth is an intern, and he had joined the intern because one of their patients happens to be Wolverine. Now, Sabertooth, apparently they have the Knickerbocker Knifer strikes again. Says, the third victim, as many months does our fair city have its own Jack Ripper. So here's Sabertooth in the city killing people, right? Just I don't know why he does, but he's like, hey, you killed. He goes, now, don't you know if you actually did it? Don't really care. I know you've done it before with my sister and with my brother. And so he's down there, he's like going to take care, and he calls him Runt, which is like what he always calls him. It's really cool. But Essex comes in, Mr. Sinister. It's like, don't mess with him. I have to experiment on him. And takes a bone saw out and saws off Wolverine's arm. I mean, literally just saws the arm off, and they wrap it up. And then you have the lady doctor comes in. What have they done to you? So she kind of tries to help get him out. Sabertooth starts attacking, and he hits Wolverine, and he starts attacking the lady. Wolverine fights back, and there's a great scene where he punches him up in the jaw, and his metal claws comes up and strikes through Wolverine's chin. And he throws, through Sabertooth's chin. And Sabertooth kind of throws Wolverine to the side. Well, the lady apparently is a werewolf. And so she transforms into a werewolf and starts after Sabertooth. And she lays him out. And then injection in the side by Essex, and she's passed out cold. And then it's really sad, but they ended up doing experimentations on her, and they got her all ripped open. They have a whole scene here where she's all ripped open, and they're pulling her insides out, and it's pretty weird stuff. So, and it says, Ravencroft goes, and the next morning I got a note from her. It was her resignation detailing her desire to practice abroad back in her native Romania. It was handwritten, it was her word, it was even something she had discussed doing a number of cases, yet something wasn't right, something was off. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, though I didn't know, and I didn't really want to know. So he's like, things are happening as an institute that he knows is happening, but he's too kind of worried to really dig into it. So it's a great premise here, and I see Essex doing some weird stuff, and Sabertooth's there, and they're experimenting on this werewolf, and they're cutting into her, and they just basically killed this woman in there to experiment on her. They cut off Wolverine's arm. I mean, just weird, old 1800, weird, insane asylum type experiments that we've all heard about in these weird, creepy stories. And, of course, Ravencroft really doesn't want to know about it because he's trying to help the mentally insane, but these things are happening under his nose, and he knows it's happening, but does he really want to find out? Does he really want to do it? Does he really want to get into it? I guess we'll find out soon. But he goes, but he was hardly the last monster who would ever enter my facility. So, yeah, Essex was a monster. Sinister was a monster, but he wasn't the last one. So and we get back to present, and like all these vampire things and monsters and Cthulhu-type tentacle creatures and all this stuff are attacking the group. And we've got, the werewolf guy, he is he's fighting. We got Mr. Fantastic with his elastic throwing things around. Kingpin punching. Misty Knight, man, she is just beating things down. They're running through the door for the unwanted. They're trying to close it, and they're like putting all their power into it, and they actually cut off like a tentacle thing that flops on the ground. And it's creepy. And Chris is like, Misty, I was like, well, now that was intense. And she's right. That was like, woo, crazy. All right, so I know I agree I know you agree with me, Fisk. I saw your face. You look like you saw a ghost in there. The ghost saw you. And he goes, you don't want to make a powerful enemy of the mayor. So overall, great story, great premise. I like the Cthulhu type, Lovecraftian type mythos. I like that in here. It's creepy. I like tying in some of the old history and the whole old Marvel people in there, like the other ones by Captain America fighting the vampire. I like that. I like that old mythos wrapped into this Cthulhu, to this horror genre, and done in this way. It's really cool. I like the past and present right now where they're figuring out what's going on with Ravencroft and the original Ravencroft and the destroyed, and now the Werewolf by Night actually kind of owns the property, so he's involved in this. And the diary entries is really good. It's really a good series. So far I'm enjoying it. I've read 3 so far. I've enjoyed all 3 of them. It's definitely so far a recommend for me. If you're not getting this, pick them up. If you like the horror stuff, pick them up. It's cool. So if you like this review, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time here in the Long Box.